Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, a man found guilty of hitting and killing a woman with a stolen U-Haul. Building bylaws, city councillors consider more changes related to new infill homes. And Separation Survey, a new poll explores how many Albertans are in favor of leaving the country.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
An emotional day in court for family and friends of a woman from Fort Saskatchewan who was hit and killed by a U-Haul whose driver was trying to get away from police. Today, the man behind the wheel was found guilty. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
For 2 years to get to this, and it just still feels like it just happened.
It's been nearly 2 years since Sherry Lunn's sister was killed. Kassandra Gartner drove over a spike belt intended for a U-Haul that was on the run from police. She was inspecting tire damage when the U-Haul hit her, seconds before it hit another vehicle head-on.
She was all about community. She always wanted to give back. Every part of my life that I enjoy, I now have to figure out how to do it without her.
Over the course of a 3-week-long trial, a Crown prosecutor presented evidence intending to prove Peter Ashby was the person behind the wheel of the U-Haul. Today, the justice ruled the man seen in this video and the person driving the U-Haul is Ashby.
Unfortunately, there are no good outcomes in a case like this because regardless of the outcome, Kassandra Gartner is still gone. But we hope that this outcome assists her family, friends, and her community in taking one step further in that healing journey.
Ashby was found guilty of 7 of 10 charges, including dangerous driving causing death, dangerous driving causing bodily harm, and flight from police.
Okay, just reversed and rammed one of your members, guys.
He was also found guilty of assaulting a police officer after ramming a cruiser, and guilty of stealing a car with a child inside. The child was dropped off later unhurt.
Now that we know the facts, we will look to see what a fit and proper sentence is and vigorously argue that before the court.
I think that he should be held accountable to the maximum allotment, but realistically, I know it's not going to happen because the Canadian judicial system isn't fair.
They'll be back in court later this month to set a date in the future for sentencing. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Wetaskiwin.
The 53-year-old man is dead after a crash on the Henday. The man had pulled over to change a tire. It happened yesterday afternoon in the northbound lanes near Y Road. RCMP say 2 SUVs were stopped on the shoulder. Mounties say both people were out of their vehicles when they were hit by a Jeep Grand Cherokee. The 53-year-old was killed. A 21-year-old was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Both are from Calgary. The 21-year-old driver of the Jeep had minor injuries. A mother of 5 is dead after a bus carrying a youth church group rolled this weekend near Grand Prairie. The youth group was returning to Grand Prairie Saturday night after taking part in Bible studies near Edmonton. Mounties say the bus hit a median, then rolled once before landing on its wheels. The pastor of the church says the victim was one of 36 parishioners on the bus. The victim and many others were thrown through the windows as the bus rolled.
So the right side of the bus, the windows, they're designed to do that apparently in a rollover, so the glasses doesn't hurt people or whatever, I guess. And anyone who didn't have their seatbelt on the right side of the bus was ejected.
Pastor is identifying the parishioner who died as 50-year-old Lillian Banda, a wife and mother of 5 children. The pastor says 2 other victims remain in hospital. City councillors are weighing the housing needs of a growing city against the impact on people who already live here. The Infill debate is back on at City Hall with a number of changes on the table. Housing advocates worry those changes will lead to fewer homes. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
Infill multiplexes like this became easier to build 2 years ago, an opportunity for some to live the way they want.
Without this type of development, we would have been pushed farther out. But now, because we live closer to work, school, and transit, we drive significantly less and we can walk and bike more.
City councillors are once again hearing from the public on infill policy. a conversation the mayor promised during the election.
These are all really challenging, complicated questions, and they all have trade-offs and they all have impact.
In July, City Council voted to shrink the overall building size, restrict side entrances, and improve how infill looks from the street. The impact of those changes hasn't had time to materialize, but city staff are suggesting more policy changes. They recommend restricting mid-rise projects to arterial roads on lots that are either close to transit or on a corner, and limiting projects inside neighborhoods to 3 stories with a maximum of 6 units unless they're on a corner.
The changes that are proposed today would bring us fewer homes when we need more homes in the places that people want to live, and that is the complete wrong direction.
Dozens of people registered to give councillors their 2 cents.
A blunt unit cap, it doesn't change the size of the building, it changes the price of the units. So you end up with fewer, more expensive homes rather than a variety of options for different income levels.
Nobody wants to see these monstrosity infills brought into our lovely old neighborhood.
Councillor Michael Jan says he'd like to find the best path to the most homes.
Is it about the heartbeats in the home, or is it about the size of the box, the shading of the box, the massing of the box? What I think we've heard today from the speakers is it's more important to focus on the box than who's in the box.
Committee couldn't complete the discussion Monday. Any infill policy changes will go to a public hearing before being adopted. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Nearly 1/3 of Albertans polled say they would either vote to leave or are leaning towards Alberta separating from the country. However, the majority of Albertans say they want to stay. CTV's Nariman Issa joins us now with more on the survey tonight. So, Nariman, what do the people behind the Angus Reid poll have to say about the results?
Well, Matt, the Angus Reid Institute says there is an appetite for separation, but it's not as strong as some would believe. Angus Reid polled 979 Albertans through an online survey earlier this month. 57% said they would vote to stay, with an additional 8% saying they would lean towards staying. Now, 8% said they would definitely leave, with 21% leaning towards leaving. Now, the survey company says those contemplating leaving could swing things either way, as their response may not be as forthcoming.
And what we don't know about these folks is whether they're leaning, but they haven't locked in because they're too shy to say what they're really thinking, or because they're still really trying to make up their minds, or because they see legitimate grievance in the things that are upsetting Albertans, but they aren't sure that they want to take an action as drastic as leaving the country.
The poll also asked about leadership approval. More than half, 54%, disapprove or strongly disapprove on how Premier Danielle Smith is handling separatism in Alberta. And about 44% of Canadians approve of Prime Minister Mark Carney's approach. Now, the nearly 1,000 Albertans surveyed are members of the Angus Reid Forum. Now, for comparison purposes only, a probability sample of this size would carry a margin of error of plus or minus 3 percentage points. So that is 19 times out of 20. Matt.
All right, Nariman Issa live in studio tonight. Thank you. The province is spending $3 million to help build a new soccer dome and grow the Edmonton Ski Club. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has the details.
The Edmonton Minor Soccer Association is one step closer to getting another soccer dome like this one.
Our facilities are bursting at the seams.
The province announced $1.5 million for a new multi-sport turf facility.
Alberta's government recognizes that having modern, accessible and up-to-date infrastructure is essential supporting this opportunity.
The facility will be built at the existing EMSA outdoor soccer fields near Seacourt in West Edmonton. There are only 2 other indoor facilities with non-boarded fields in the city, not nearly enough for the up to 16,000 players wanting to hit the turf.
It's always a scramble to try and get more fields. I think we do lose a lot of players because we don't have the facilities.
The Edmonton Ski Club will also be getting $1.5 million to build a new modern lodge.
It really is going to be a significant change to the hosting of our guests and then the servicing and doing all those other things we need to do for them as well.
The ski club says the new lodge will offer more options for River Valley users.
Once the snow isn't on site, what else can we do in that River Valley to host and entertain and give Edmontonians recreation options that do not include a pair of skis or a snowboard.
The ski club plans to open the new lodge October 31st. While the Minor Soccer Association is grateful for the $1.5 million, it's not enough to get shovels in the ground.
A build like this is going to be 10 million plus to do something like this. So it's a big undertaking.
EMSA says without full funding, it's unclear when the facility will be built. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
If it wasn't for the field conditions, Josh, I wouldn't have been surprised to see a few people outside kicking the soccer ball around today.
Yeah, warm again. Temperatures were in the 7 to 8 degree range through the course of the weekend. We're at 7 for a daytime high again today. So not quite as warm as last week when we had a couple double-digit daytime highs, but still way above average. -4, the average daytime high. A little cooler in the mornings, though. -6 this morning. We'll be in that -5, -6 range for morning lows for the rest of this week. 2 south of the city at the airport, 3 at the Villeneuve Airport, and 4 here off to the east and northeast. Downtown, we've slipped a degree since hitting that high of 7 earlier this afternoon. Lots of sunshine through the day today. This is what it looks like right now with the CTV drone. It's brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. As you look off to the west, there are some clouds getting set to spill into the Edmonton area. I don't think those will stick around through tomorrow, but they will be here for mid to late this evening and overnight tonight. You've got a little bit of patchy snow there in the west as well. No snow expected in the Edmonton region, just that increase in cloud as we head through the evening hours. So temperatures, again, as we said, should drop to about -6 tomorrow morning. Fairly clear at 9 p.m., but mostly cloudy around midnight. Sunny with a few clouds through the day tomorrow, and about 5 or 6 for a daytime high tomorrow. Similar temperatures Wednesday. Thursday looks warm. It's not until the weekend that temperatures start to slip a little bit. We'll take a closer look at that in just a few minutes.
All right, Josh, thank you. Coming up next on CTV News, a timeless discussion. The Premier considers holding a referendum on daylight saving time.
I think maybe what we need to do is just say, do you want to end the time change?
Tuesday on Your Morning, vaccine skepticism south of the border is impacting Canada. We'll talk about common myths, plus a new podcast guided by First Nations and Métis experiences.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
You're watching CTV News at 5.
In 1 month, we'll be turning the clocks forward for daylight saving time. Some people believe changing time twice a year should stop. And now the Premier says her party is considering letting people vote on the issue again. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg reports.
Alberta will spring forward in March, and like clockwork, it has some people debating whether daylight saving should continue.
I just think it's an outdated institution. I don't really know why we're still doing it.
One, to affect my schedule. 2 part. I'd prefer to stay the way it is.
The Premier says her party is considering putting it to Albertans as a referendum question.
I think maybe what we need to do is just say, do you want to end the time change?
Alberta has been using the practice for decades, shifting patterns to save energy and make better use of daylight. But there's often been debate about changing the clocks twice a year.
So I see pitch black, I don't want to go out. But then daylight saving time is wait, it's actually sunny now. That's I feel for a slight change to pay, just change your clocks, I feel it's worth it.
I don't really like it because it changes up my whole circadian rhythm.
And Albertans have voted on it several times before. Most recently in 2021, Albertans cast a ballot for a time change referendum. At the same time, they voted for the municipal election. 50.2% chose to keep the time change. But the Premier says the wording of that question could have been more clear, and Alberta might have another vote on the matter.
Then we can sort of do some consultation about whether we want standard time year-round or daylight time year-round. Right now, 8 months of the year, we're on daylight time. And so it kind of makes sense to me that we would stay on daylight time.
The 2021 referendum cost over $1 million and included 2 questions. Neither resulted in changes for the province. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Also on her radio show this weekend, Premier Smith teased an announcement related to education and addressing classroom complexities. Smith says a big amount is coming. Classroom complexities is one of the issues that emerged during the teachers' strike. The province asked for input from teachers and school boards. It showed of the 108,000 classrooms, 5% were considered unmanageable because of class size and complexity. On her radio call-in show Saturday, Smith said she will reveal a plan this week that will make an immediate impact. The budget comes down February 26th. Another recall petition against the UCP MLA has failed to get the signatures it needs to move forward. Elections Alberta has now verified the petition against Airdrie East MLA Angela Pitt. It says the petition has 2,358 signatures out of nearly 15,000 that were required. Last week, the person behind the campaign said he was giving up. There are still 24 outstanding recall petitions against Alberta MLAs. A local apparel company has created some budget-friendly gear to support Canadian Olympians. Edmonton-based The 780 has put out a new line that pokes fun at the Canadian habit of over-apologizing while celebrating our talents. The owner says while he loves the official Olympic gear, it is pricey, and he wanted to make something that everyone could afford.
I think it's important that we stay Canadians. The humility, being humble, I think that's what makes us so unique in the world. But we do need to take pride in what we're good at. Because, yeah, if we don't, who's going to do it?
T-shirts run about $30, and their hoodies range from $65 to $75. Still to come tonight on CTV News, growing a business. The couple who turned their central Alberta property into a field of dreams.
We bought bare lands with nothing on it, no road, no nothing, and slowly and surely built what we have right now.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
We know better than to count out winter while it's still February, but as CTV's Gates Warren explains, a husband and wife team in central Alberta hope their unique batch of flowers will be a bridge to spring.
On any given day, you'll find Jack and Trudy Thielen tending to their tulip crop. From sorting to cutting to wrapping, the duo does it every week in time for Saturdays, when Jack takes the freshly picked flowers to Edmonton's Old Strathcona Farmers Market, usually running out within hours of opening.
Yeah, 10 o'clock this morning, we're out.
The owners of Tulip Farm Red Deer take a unique approach when growing their flowers, planting them in water rather than soil, and adding fertilizers to them in their custom-built greenhouse. But their business didn't grow overnight.
It was not an easy start, but over the years we've learned how to do things, why the climate is different, why things are growing different for tulips here in Alberta.
After working as florists in Holland, they intended to leave flowers behind altogether after immigrating to Canada in the late 90s. Their passion brought them back into bloom.
We bought bare land with nothing on it, no road, no nothing, and slowly and surely built what we have right now.
Their greenhouse will hold 30,000 bulbs at any given time. While they're able to increase their current operation, they believe in the freshness of their flowers over quantity.
Like, we really do it out of our heart, and that makes it for us.
You need to have the passion, but without passion you can't do it.
Yeah.
Gates Warren, CTV News, Red Deer County.
Yo, Josh, I'm glad we ran a flower story the week before Valentine's Day, because, boy, if that's not a reminder to go out and get something for your loved one, I don't know what else is.
Not today, though.
Yeah, no, I've got a few more.
Not on the flowers. Yeah. You don't want them to wilt. Here you go.
There you go.
I was thinking of you a week ago.
It's the thought that counts.
Take a look outside right now with the River Valley Skycams. Brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right over, it's free. 6 degrees after a high of 7 earlier today. Lots of sunshine through the day, but you can see some cloud cover off on the horizon. We'll see those clouds increase as the evening goes on. Minus 12 in Fort McMurray, whereas Cold Lake is at 0. 3 in Jasper. Red Deer's at 1, although, again, we'll point out that these temperatures come from the airport, so you're probably 2 or 3 degrees warmer in town. Watch the long-range forecast. This is what's happening in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. Cold air, purples and blues. You get into the green zones here, you're into some milder air. This is not as warm as the big upper ridge that we had in place through most of last week, but take you through Thursday. There's no real cool down coming after the weekend into early next week. We've been talking basically since the start of February that sometime in that week after Valentine's Day, we'd see some colder air rolling in, and that is still on track. Still some uncertainty with how cold it's going to get next week, but this is this week. Somewhere in the 4 to 7 degree range for daytime highs through to Friday. Little bit of a drop there through the weekend. And then by the middle of next week, we could be looking at daytime highs in the -10 range. We haven't even seen too many morning lows in the -10 range lately. In fact, the last time we were below zero for a high was not yesterday, but the Sunday before. So we've gone an entire week here with daytime highs well above average and above zero. We'll fill that out for the rest of this week in red as well as temperatures stay above average for the remainder of this week. There's your cloud cover off to the west that'll spill in through this evening and overnight tonight. You might see a few flurries here north of Edmonton, but should be just empty clouds here in the city. And then those clouds move out through the day tomorrow. And so we get some mainly sunny skies once again. And again, fairly light wind. It'll be a repeat for tomorrow night into Wednesday. Some clouds roll through Tuesday night, but they're gone through Wednesday. -14 in Fort McMurray, -10 in Grand Prairie, -10 in Red Deer tomorrow morning. We'll drop to about -6 here in the city. A lot warmer in Fort McMurray tomorrow than you were today. -2. Should be a degree or two below zero as well into the Cold Lake region, and somewhere in the 3 to 6 degree range from Grand Prairie south into the Whitecourt, Edson areas. Handful of degrees above zero in Red Deer and Jasper, and highs in the 3 or 4 degree range in east central Alberta with a little extra cloud cover. Here in Edmonton, mainly sunny skies for the next 2 days. Although tonight and tomorrow night, you will have some clouds roll through. That'll help hold temperatures up a little bit. 6 degrees on Thursday, 4 on Friday. There's your cool down that starts to settle in through the weekend. 2 on Saturday and about 0 Sunday. And chance of flurries on Saturday with those colder temperatures next week. Pretty good chance of some snow almost every single day next week as well.
All right, Josh, thank you. When we return, ringing in the Lunar New Year.
CTV News at 5 continues.
The Vietnamese community in Edmonton was celebrating Lunar New Year this weekend. Community Association held its Lunar New Year festival and concert over the weekend. People around the world will ring in the Year of the Fire Horse on February 17th. Festivities this weekend included dancing, singing, and storytelling celebrating Vietnamese culture. The next event will be at Kingsway Mall on Saturday. Dozens of vendors took part in the Together Chinatown Arts Festival ahead of Lunar New Year. Together is a loose translation of a Chinese phrase that means, "Don't leave it until we meet." Vendors were selling stationery goods, books, prints, hand-sewn items, and more. Organizers say the festival is a way for people to support Chinatown.
I just really wanted to bring it back to this core because there's so much history and so much importance here, and I think a lot of our hearts are still here as well. So if people come here, I'm pretty sure they'll see the warmth of this place and the community care.
And as we mentioned, Lunar New Year begins February 17th. That's our show.